Good morning, welcome to Morning Review. This is Kim Watson speaking on Monday, the 18th of April. Okay, looking at the West Texan oil at the moment, and as you can see, the talks held over the weekend didn't come to anything. With Iran refusing to send a delegate, and no agreements being made, so oil's immediately dropped down a couple of dollars on that basis, and you'll see knock-on effects through the market. So let's just run through here then, looking at the euro dollar first, and the euro's had obviously less effect on oil, has had less effect on the euro, I guess. Um, we've we did see a gap. It actually gapped up fractionally, and then pulled back down and closed that gap. At the moment, we're sort of looking like it could be on for this sort of pattern here, sort of bear flaggish. Looks like it could be on for the monthly pivot at some point. However, we do have the weekly pivot above us, which may create a bit of movement in that direction, and a breakdown of this. It's a couple of trend lines that could be drawn over here, but perhaps a break of this level here may see us running up towards the daily R1, Friday's highs, and that a weekly pivot. Likewise, any break of the lows at the moment, I mean, it's just consolidating. No real direction. Maybe a break of the 50 MA, maybe the safest place to be looking for because it hasn't been tested yet. And a break of that may see us running off towards the S1 and Friday's low. So we've got the options here. Looking at the pound dollar, again we're seeing a sort of downward movement in this, and just looking at the 60 minutes, no real gap in there. Bear in mind, I just thought we'd have seen a little bit more with Brent, but oil, but cool, having its effect. But we haven't. It's just sold straight off. Hardly a gap at all. Currently, well, we've got the weekly and daily pivots above us. Again, very steep sell-off since Friday's highs into the 4 o'clock. It was around about 4 o'clock each time. Oh, sorry, it was later than that, 6 o'clock candle there. At the moment, it does look weak, and there's the possibility of that S1 going, but so long as it holds where it is, if it can start pushing up there, the probability is pretty good for the dailies and weekly pivots. So we'll see how we run, but we've got plenty of resistance in the form of those 21 moving averages, which I may add have actually been tested. So perhaps if we could get any sort of run up, they'll go untested. Okay, dollar yen, quite a large gap down on the news, or lack of anything interesting. Seeing a possible early part of some sort of recovery here. This won't be appreciated by the Bank of Japan, this newfound strength again. It's looking like it could, again, it's got weekly pivots above us and daily pivots well above that. I think that might be a big ask today, but from where we are, but we could at some point go in and fill this gap and move back towards that weekly pivot, and it may be a point to be looking for if we get a decent entry. Just would like to see a little bit more confirmation on that. Aussie dollar, the Aussie dollar again Friday was trying to push up to new highs, couldn't really make it, and it's sold off on gap down. Again, the gap could be completed. It's got daily pivot. I mean, it just rolled straight through everything here, but got the possibility of a push up here. It looks like it's trying to, and I mean, it's the constant. The very fact we got gaps, they so often get filled relatively early, so it'll be interesting to watch this. Not necessarily early in the day, but early in the week. Okay, and finally, the Canadian dollar. So we know what's going on here. Gap upwards, and a huge gap in between there. It's heading up pretty healthily for some swing trades I know are open. The only thing we may see is this gap filled, but it needs to really start breaking the lows here. almost a trend line on where we are at the moment, but significant effect that we've seen here. So if we do see this coming through here, we may have a good intraday trade back. Well, depends on how far back it can get it in here. Maybe even it may just close to the 21s and Friday's high here. Okay, that's pretty much it for me. News-wise today, there appears to be very little out there today. It's all really in low value news. It's just check for sure. As I'm just checking the secondary news service. No, got Dudley speaking in 5 hours 48 at 1:30. Okay, so we've got a speaker at 1:30. Opening remarks at conferences, transatlantic divergence in Ukraine. Okay, well, you never know. He may just say something, but I think he's been speaking last week and the week before, so maybe have less effect. And there's nothing much else out there, so it could come from the unknown, i.e., one of the oil companies or something like this starting to speak a little bit more. But for now, oops. Looks like Canada doesn't want to come down at the moment. For now, it looks like we've just watch these markets and see. As I say, I'm quite happy for them to roll over in these points here. I like the euro to come down, catch that monthly pivot. Statistically, it'd be lovely. Anyway, that's it for me. Have a great one. Bye.